Hey everyone, welcome back to TapRooT TV. I'm Benna Hughes, and today we're going to talk about something we've talked about a few times in the past, but it's implementation. I've got Dave Janey here today, and he works a lot with clients and helping them get a program in place that's, TapRoot's not just a tool, it is a program.
It is, and it needs to be part of your strategy.
Yes.
So what I wanted to talk about today a little bit is how does TapRooT fit into your strategy, but also how does your implementation fit into your strategy and how do you sustain it? We talk a lot about management systems. That term's thrown out there, and in a general sense, a management system is how you manage your business. And I want to talk a little bit about that as well.
Okay, great. So we got a three-part discussion that we're going to talk about, and they actually have some books that come with them, so we'll be showing you those as well. So the first part is the strategy and implementation.
Right. So a lot of times, and as Benna mentioned, we've had a couple of really good videos already on implementation, and so you can watch those, and they'll give you some great information. I'm not going to dive too deep into the nuts and bolts of implementation, only to say that the way you implement TapRooT or any other program is important. Yes. Because I don't care how good your program is, if you don't implement it properly, you're going to have an issue. So we've got some great resources and other videos on that. But the first thing is, before you implement, you've got to have a good strategy.
Right.
And when I say strategy, what I mean is, what do you expect the results to be when you're finished?
That's a good place to start, because it's going to get rid of a lot of frustrations when you have that end game in mind.
Absolutely. Where do you want to get to, and what is your roadmap for getting there? That's really what's important, first of all. And then once you have that and everybody's involved, then at that point you can get into the implementation piece. And so, management systems fit into that as well. And there's lots of different kinds of management systems out there. There's ISO management systems, which are very detailed and things like that. And then there's some that are more general. For example, if you're in the safety world, you may have heard of the OSHA VPP program. And people don't always think of it as a management system, but what it is it's a very basic, high-level safety management system.
Oh, okay.
And there are several elements to it. Like I said, it's not nearly as detailed as an ISO program or anything like that, but one of the elements is management, leadership, and employee involvement.
Oh, that's very important.
Very important.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether I'm talking about TapRooT or any other program, you've got to have everybody involved. It can't be just top down, and it can't be, driven up. It has to be everybody working together. It has to be a team effort. And so the first resource I want to share with the group is this book here. This is the TapRooT Leadership Lessons book.
That's a great book.
Because before I can implement it, I have to really have a clear vision for what I want to do.
Exactly.
And so if you don't have management buy-in and you don't have that cohesive strategy, you're going to have a problem. And one thing I thought was interesting, we just had the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And after the Super Bowl, they were interviewing Bill Belichick, the coach of the New England Patriots.
Right.
Now, before anybody gets mad at me, I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm not saying that. But this was
now you're going to make the Patriots fans mad.
Yeah, well, sorry about that. There was a great quote. They were interviewing Coach Belichick after the game. And they were talking about how, his legacy, he's the greatest coach of all time, and things like that. And he was really trying to deflect that and saying, well, it's really all about the players. The players executed, and they executed the plan. We put out a plan, and they executed. And I thought that really made a lot of sense, but they kept coming back at him with, you're the greatest coach of all time. You're the greatest coach of all time. And here's where the quote comes in. And by the way, he doesn't like to be interviewed.
Right.
He's a coach. He's not a public, interview person. And what he said, which I thought was great, was, well, I appreciate it. All I can tell you is I've never seen a great player that did well under bad coaching.
That's an excellent way to put it.
That's a great quote.
Yes,
He's right. He said, I've never seen a great player that could survive bad coaching.
Yeah.
And so that's why leadership is so important. So, if you're having trouble getting your leadership bought into TapRooT, first thing you do is go to our website and get them this book, because this tells you why you should implement.
It's interesting how you were putting that a second ago. I've been talking to somebody recently, a client recently, and what they've kind of done is they've gone and trained all their management people, but they're not wanting to train, the boots on the ground folks. And so it's not going to, they're going to have extreme frustration doing it that way. So you really do have to work as that team. So we're kind of trying to work through that with that group right now. But when you said that, that just totally reminded me of that. I mean, you can't just train management and not train the people who are going to be right there taking care of all of this.
Yeah, like I said, in VPP, one of the elements is management, leadership, and employee involvement.
Mm-hmm.
It's not two separate elements. They make that one element, and that's important, because if you don't have the people who have to actually do the job bought in, then you have an issue. So you get that piece in place, and now you're ready to come up with a really good plan.
Yes.
And so a lot of times, we were talking earlier, people say, well, I want to use this method or that method. Well, TapRoot's not just a root cause method. TapRoot is an entire program. TapRoot is an entire plan. And I was talking to a client yesterday who was talking about developing this program, and it was going to take 2 years and things like that. And I thought, wow, another favorite saying of mine is speed wins. Mm-hmm. Why should I take 2 years to develop something that's maybe good, maybe not so good, when I have something that I can implement right now? And we have that. We have a program. And which brings me to the next book, the TapRooT Implementation book.
This is very key.
Yeah, we don't just come out and train you and throw you out on an island and let you, try to paddle water. We have plans and we have programs, and we can help walk you through it. The book is a great resource, but the other resource is all of us here in the office.
Yes.
We can help you put together a roadmap for success, because every company's a little bit different, every industry's a little bit different, and what we want to do is put together a plan that works for you in your specific situation.
Well, and there's a little bit of a culture change that takes place in this as well, because say we were saying earlier, if somebody's using 5 whys, well, they're just out there using 5 whys. They're not necessarily thinking about that they're in a full program of how to improve their systems and improve their whole company.
That's right.
They're just looking at that investigation at that time, and we're wanting them to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example, because so you might say 5 whys is a root cause method. I don't even believe it's a root cause method. I'm not sure what it is, to be honest, but it's certainly not a full program.
No.
It's certainly not a full program. So, TapRooT is a full program for improving your business. It's not just safety, it's not just quality, it's not just operations, it's everything.
Including us.
Including us, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think that's really important. So you've got to get a good implementation plan, get it launched, but you're not done yet.
No.
Because you have to continually improve it.
Yes.
A lot of times we think, we're going to implement this program, and we think that we've arrived at our destination. But it's not a destination, because it has to be kept up.
Right.
And it has to be improved.
Gotta hone those skills.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned management systems, and I mentioned ISO and things like that. Well, a lot of the ISO standards now are being revised to include a very simple concept, Plan, Do, Check, Act, PDSA. Sometimes it's referred to as PDSA, Plan, Do, Study, Act, same thing. But I like Plan, Do, Check, Act because it's simple. It's a simple thought process, and it's been around for over 50 years.
Right.
And I don't know too many, programs or processes that have been around for 50 years that still work today. So it's kind of amazing, but it's integrated into a lot of the common management systems out there. And the key with Plan, Do, Check, Act is we've got a good program, but we monitor it, we improve it, and it's a continuous cycle. So the proactive side of your improvement programs is going to be extremely important. You can get up a great program, but you got to keep it going, which brings me to the next book, TapRooT for Proactive and Auditing.
We definitely love that.
Yeah, I love that one because I helped write it. But I truly believe in that because, nobody wants to spend all their time just fixing problems. What you want to do is be proactive and seek out those problems. We also have a trending book that'll be coming out soon because I can't fix something if I don't know what my problems are.
Right.
And so that trending book will be out just any week now. And so that'll be another really great resource. So you trend to find your problems, you do your audits, you do your proactive stuff, and TapRooT fits into all that.
It does.
You can use the resources we have and as part of your system, and you can really start to improve your program. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's pushing the boulder up the hill, I call it. And so, when you take stock a year down the road, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, and you start to see that improvement, it's easy to pick the low-hanging fruit.
It is.
It really is. And a lot of times people come to us because they have a crisis. They're having too many injuries, they're having too many losses, they're having too many customer complaints, quality problems, things like that. And we can help them pick that low-hanging fruit really quickly.
Yes, we can.
But we want to help you sustain it.
We do.
Yeah, and that's where, developing a good roadmap to success comes into play. So it's a closed loop, just like Plan, Do, Check, Act.
Yes.
We keep working.
Well, you were talking about the continuous improvement aspect of this. The quickest way to be left behind is not to work toward improvement. So it is a full system. It is a full, like you said, goes full circle, and that's the way to just keep, you can't rest on your laurels on all this. You
Absolutely
just can't.
not.
One of the things we talk about with folks is make sure in your plan, you set some schedule on your calendar throughout the year, times to sit and revisit all of this. Look at where you're at. Maybe practice your TapRooT skills if you haven't done things in a while. There's just all kinds of things that we can help you with, suggest for you to keep you on the right track and keep going forward.
Yeah. And, one thing, and there's not much time now, but the best way to keep going is to attend the TapRooT Summit. So it's just over a week away, but you still have time to register. You still have time.
You do.
So, yeah.
I've got about 3 people getting ready to register right now.
Good.
Yeah.
So we're already packing the boxes. We're getting ready to load up the truck, and we're headed to Texas. So there's still time, but not a lot of time.
Nope.
So what I would say to you is if you're watching the video and some of what we talked about kind of hit home for you, go to our website, register right now, and we can talk more about it when we get to Texas.
Exactly. Well, Dave, I appreciate this. This is a really good overview of what we want to provide for our clients, what we want to help partner with you on, because, like we said, we're in this boat with you. You're not just getting trained in TapRooT and then you're out on your own. You're just out there trying to figure it all out. We're going to help you get a plan in place so that you can be successful and you can do all this plan, do, check, repeat,
Act.
act. We're going to help you with that so that you stay on course. So if you want more information about this, feel free to contact us. The easiest way to contact us is info@taproot.com. You can also go to our website at taproot.com. The summit he was talking about, you can just click the little button up in the right-hand corner of the website and see what the summit's all about. You can call us at 865-539-2139 or follow us on any of our social media platforms. We're kind of everywhere. I'm still figuring out how we're on Pinterest, but we're on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, everything. So just keep following us, sign up for our newsletter from our website. And Dave, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And we appreciate you joining us on TapRooT TV.
Yes, we do. We'll see you next time. Thank you.